Let's start with FirstRand, the largest of them. Banking investment group, which includes the following operational 100% held subsidiaries. First National Bank, FNB, Westbank, which of course is in the asset finance, vehicle finance area, and then Rand Merchant Bank, which of course is the leading player, one of the leading players in corporate finance, deal origination, trading and all of that sort of stuff. You put it all together, market capitalization 260.8 billion Rand, price earnings ratio of 12.19, dividend yield historic of 4.52. So this one does feel like the market leader because it has got the largest market cap. It's done the best over the last sort of 7 or 8 years. It's gained market share. It's very well regarded in the retail space. But its share price hasn't really done that well. While we're talking, let's get that up. And can you explain to us what you think is going on there?
Yeah, so look, what we've seen, and we'll look at it, all of the banks, really there has been a derating across the board, and that's what we were discussing in terms of sovereign issues, also just a deceleration in earnings growth, not negative, but quite significant. It varies by the different banks as well. And yeah, I think foreigners' sort of interest and excitement in emerging banks has declined significantly. FirstRand has had the highest rating. That's both on the PE, lower yield, but also importantly, price to book. And some foreigners have looked at it, and FirstRand was trading at about 3 times price to book, which is a very high rating for an emerging market bank, and they're saying this is very expensive.
So all very well know that they're good guys, well placed, good team, but there's perhaps a little bit too much optimism about their ability to grow. Speaking of which, they gained market share in the local market, there's no doubt, but they have a joint venture and other new operations in other African countries, as well as some exciting new business opportunities in India and elsewhere. I guess the issue there, though, is that that's not really needle-moving stuff. At this point. It's quite small.
No, they've been quite cautious with their sort of offshore expansion, emerging market expansion. They've sort of touched in India, and they may have a much lower portion of African earnings compared to the other banks.
Yeah. What about management changes? Johan Berger now at the top of the whole thing. Jacques Chilier's running FNB. I'm trying to look at my notes here. Who runs Westbank now? It's Krista Koch, and then James Formby running RMB.
RMB, that's right. Yeah.
What are these all like 35-year-old hotshots that they got growing down there?
I think they're sort of early 40s, some may be a bit younger, but they really have a fairly deep bench. I think that's been a hallmark of their success. They've attracted and retained excellent banking and financial talent. And to some extent, their execution is what sets them apart from those other banks and their talent pool.
You got to love it. Right, so we own some of these in the Hot Stocks portfolio. There has been a little bit of an uptick there at the end, which is quite encouraging. You're hot on this one or not? I mean, the overall context is not that exciting, but how are you going to call it today?
This is still a quality bank. I think in this point in the cycle and the ratings, they do have room to move up from here, so I'm going to be hot.
So in difficult times, this one remains hot. That's encouraging.